The stones remember everything. Boots scrape against pale brick as bodies press toward the railing, drawn by the promise of blood. The courtyard hums with anticipation. Low voices, shifting weight. The metallic tang of fear already spreading through the air before anything's even happened. I'm dragged forward by hands that don't care where they grip. My shoulder slams into the wall. Pain flares white-hot down my spine, but I swallow the sound. Don't give them the satisfaction. Don't let them see. Above me, the walkways overflow with witnesses. Junior alphas lean over the stone barrier, close enough that I can smell the leather of their uniforms, the coffee on their breath. Some look excited, others uncomfortable. None of them move to stop this. Look at him, someone mutters. Thought he could just leave. Another voice, sharper. Should have known better than to run. I didn't run. I walked out the front gate with my head high and my papers signed. Legal discharge. Honorable service. Everything by the book. But alphas don't care about books when their pride's been wounded. The hands shove me again, rougher this time. My knees buckle. I catch myself on the ledge, fingers scraping stone, and that's when I see it. The pen. 20 feet below. Dirt floor torn up by claws. Chains bolted into the walls. Rust-colored stains that could be blood or old paint, except everyone knows what they are. My stomach clenches. Not from nausea. From the instinct that's kept me alive this long. The one that's screaming, move now, get out. But there's nowhere to go. Strip him. A voice commands from behind. Cold. Detached. The kind of authority that doesn't need volume because everyone already knows who's speaking. Lucien Vale. Alpha King of the Northern Reach. 28 years old and already legendary for the things he's done to maintain control. They say he inherited the throne through blood, not birthright. They say his father's pack fell apart within 6 months of his coronation. They don't say it where he can hear. Hands yank at my shirt. Fabric tears. I twist sideways, trying to protect my stomach, but it's too late. The curve shows. Small. Undeniable. Pregnant. The murmurs cut off like someone's pulled a blade through sound itself. Silence drops over the courtyard, thick, suffocating. The kind that happens when everyone's thinking the same thing but no one wants to say it first. Then Lucien's voice cuts through. A breeder, he says softly. How sentimental. Laughter erupts. Nervous at first, then louder as alphas realize they're allowed to react. Someone spits over the railing. It lands near my foot, close enough that I feel the spray. I force myself upright. My legs shake, but I lock my knees. Meet his eyes across the distance. Lucien's expression doesn't change. Pale eyes, sharp jaw, the kind of face that looks carved instead of born. He rests both hands on the stone barrier, relaxed, like we're discussing weather. You thought you could leave, he says. Take pack resources. Carry a pup on my territory without permission. I had clearance. You had nothing. His voice drops lower, colder. You're an omega. You exist because I allow it. You breathe because I haven't decided otherwise. My hands curl into fists. Blood pounds in my ears, drowning out the crowd, the jeers, everything except the tone in his voice. The one that says he's already made his decision. Lucien straightens. Throw him in. The hands grab me before I can twist away. My shoulder hits the ledge. I catch the edge, fingernails scraping stone, feet kicking empty air, and for half a second I think I might pull myself back up. Then someone's boot comes down on my wrist. Die now, be *tsh, they hiss, and I fall. The ground punches the air from my lungs. Dust explodes around me, coating my mouth, my eyes. Pain lances up my spine. Sharp enough that I can't tell if something's broken or just screaming. I roll onto my side, gasping, one arm instinctively curling over my stomach. The baby, please, please let him be. A chain rattles in the shadows. I freeze. From the far end of the pen, something moves. Low to the ground. Massive shoulders. Eyes that catch the light and throw it back like shattered glass. The crowd noise swells. Excitement, bloodlust, the sound of people who've paid for a show and finally get to watch it. Above me, Lucien's voice carries across the courtyard. Let's see how long sentiment keeps you warm. The gate slams shut, and the starving K9 steps into the light. The dog doesn't charge. That's the first thing that's wrong. It moves like smoke, slow, deliberate, each paw placed with the kind of precision that comes from pain management, not caution. Ribs press against dark fur, visible even from here. Scars crisscross its muzzle, old wounds layered over older ones, the kind that don't heal cleanly when infection sets in. Its eyes never blink. I push myself upright, ignoring the scream of protest from my spine. My palms sink into loose dirt. Dust coats my throat, but I don't cough. Don't make noise. Noise means prey. Above, the crowd shifts. Boots scrape stone. Someone's breathing too loud, short. Excited huffs like they're watching a sporting event. 10 seconds. A voice calls. 5. Another counters. Betting. They're betting on how long I'll last. The dog takes another step. Its head stays low, ears pinned flat against its skull. Saliva drips from its jaws in thick strings, darkening the dirt between us. Hunger rolls off it in waves, not just physical, but something deeper. Desperation. The kind that makes creatures forget they were ever domesticated. My heart pounds so hard I taste copper. I know this dog. No, I knew this dog. 3 years ago, maybe 4. Before Lucien took the throne. Before the K9 program became a punishment tool instead of a security asset. This one had a name. It's buried somewhere in my memory, tangled with commands and training schedules and the smell of leather treats. But names don't matter when the animal in front of you has been starved into forgetting them. The crowd murmurs. Someone shifts position on the walkway, leaning farther over the railing. Why isn't it attacking? A junior alpha asks. Give it time, another replies. Fear needs to ripen. My stomach turns. The dog circles left. I track the movement without turning my head, peripheral vision only the way you're supposed to with predators. His gait is uneven, favoring the back right leg. Shoulder joint probably inflamed from the chains. I catalog the injuries automatically. Old training. Useless now. The dog stops 10 feet away. We stare at each other. His nostrils flare, pulling in scent. I watch its pupils dilate. Processing information, running instinct against memory, trying to decide if I'm food or threat. My hand slides over my stomach. The curve is small enough that most people miss it under loose clothing. But here, with my shirt torn and dirt smeared across my skin, there's no hiding it. The baby kicks, just once. A flutter against my palm, too faint for anyone else to feel but undeniable to me. Stay still, I think. Please stay still. The dog's ears twitch. Above us, Lucien's voice cuts through the noise. Disappointing, he says. I expected more fight. Laughter ripples across the courtyard. The dog's lips pull back. Teeth gleam, yellow-white, some broken, others filed down to points for combat training. A low growl builds in its chest, vibrating through the ground beneath my knees. This is it. The moment everyone's been waiting for. I close my eyes. Not in prayer. Not in submission. In focus. I count my heartbeats. Slow my breathing. Let the adrenaline wash through me without drowning in it. 3 seconds. 4. 5. When I open my eyes again, the dog is closer. Close enough that I can see the individual hairs along its spine standing on end. Close enough to smell the rot on its breath. Meat gone bad, infection, starvation masked by decay. Takes another step, then stops. Its head tilts. Confusion flickers across its expression. Subtle, barely there, but I've spent years reading canine body language and I know that look. Recognition. Not full, not yet, but the beginning of it. The flicker of something buried under months of cruelty and neglect. My throat tightens. The crowd's noise fades into background static. All I hear is the dog's breathing, ragged, wet, the sound of lungs working too hard, and my own pulse hammering in my ears. I lower my shoulders slowly, make myself smaller without curling inward, shift my weight to open my posture, angling my body to show I'm not hiding anything. Communication. The dog's growl falters, just for a second. But that second is everything. Above us, someone swears. What's it waiting for? Maybe it's not hungry enough. Quiet, Lucien snaps. Silence crashes down again. The dog's muscles bunch, preparing to lunge. I can see the decision forming in its eyes, hunger overriding memory, instinct drowning out the last fragments of training. I open my mouth and speak. The words aren't English. They're not pack standard commands either. Not the clipped, aggressive tones that most alphas use to dominate animals through fear. These are older, softer, the kind of sounds that bypass the brain and go straight to muscle memory. Ruhig. The dog freezes mid-step. Its front paw hovers above the ground, claws extended, body coiled tight. But it doesn't lunge. I don't move. Don't blink. Let the words settle into the space between us like a stone dropped into still water. Ruhig, mein Freund. Calm, my friend. The dog's ear twitches. Its head tilts farther, eyes narrowing, not in aggression, but in concentration, like it's trying to remember something it buried a long time ago. Above me, the crowd murmurs. What language is that? Does it matter? Look at the dog. It's listening. I take a shallow breath, let it out slowly through my nose. My hand stays flat over my stomach, fingers spread, protective but non-threatening. The baby hasn't moved since the first kick. Smart kid. Already knows when to stay quiet. The dog lowers its paw. Not submission, just pause. I shift my weight forward, barely an inch, enough to signal intent without triggering predator instinct. Kent's du Michigan? I ask quietly. Do you know me? The dog's nostrils flare again, pulling in scent. This time it's not searching for prey, it's analyzing, sorting through layers of fierce sweat and dirt and blood to find something underneath. Something familiar. This growl dies in its throat, replaced by a soft huff. Confusion, recognition, the sound of an animal whose world just tilted sideways. I risk another word. Aries. The name cuts through the pen like a blade. The dog's entire body goes rigid. Ears snap forward. Eyes widen. For 3 full seconds, it doesn't breathe. Then it whines. High-pitched, desperate. The kind of sound that makes your chest ache because you know exactly what it means. I remember you. My vision blurs. I blink hard, forcing the tears back. Can't afford them. Not yet. Not while Lucien's watching from above with those pale, calculating eyes. The dog takes a step forward. Not lunging, not hunting, approaching. This gait changes, still uneven, still favoring that bad leg. But the aggression is gone, replaced by something that looks dangerously close to hope. Above us, the courtyard has gone silent. Not the tense silence from before. This is different, heavier. The kind of quiet that happens when people realize they're watching something they don't understand. Someone clears their throat. Alpha King. I see it, Lucien says quietly. His voice is different now. Still cold, still controlled, but there's an edge underneath. Confusion, maybe anger, definitely suspicion. The dog reaches me. I don't move. Let it come. Let it process. Its nose touches my arm first. Wet, cold, pressing against bare skin where my shirt tore. It inhales deeply, pulling in scent, and I feel the exact moment recognition solidifies into certainty. The dog's entire body relaxes. His tail, scarred, half the length it should be, twitches once. Not a wag. It's been too long, endured too much. But the intention is there. I lift my hand slowly, telegraph every movement. Give it time to react, to pull back if it needs to. My fingers brush the top of its head. The dog leans into the touch. A sound escapes me before I can stop it. Relief sharp enough to hurt, tangled with grief and rage and something that feels too big for my chest to contain. Guter Hund, I whisper. Good dog. The dog presses its forehead against my sternum. Not hard, just there, seeking contact, comfort, the things it's been denied for months while Lucien turned the K9 program into a weapon. Above us, boots shift on stone. That's not possible. someone mutters. How is he? Quiet. Lucien snaps again. This time, his voice carries weight. Command. The kind that makes every alpha in the courtyard straighten instinctively. But I don't straighten. I drop to my knees. Dirt bites into my skin. Pain flares where I hit the ground earlier. Bruised ribs, maybe cracked, definitely angry. But I ignore it. Lean forward. Expose my neck deliberately. The most vulnerable position an Omega can take. The dog doesn't attack. It steps closer. Presses its scarred muzzle into the curve of my throat. Breathes in deep. Then it turns. Slowly. Deliberately. Positioning itself between me and the gate. Between me and the crowd. Between me and every alpha on those walkways who wanted to watch me die. The shoulders square. Head lowers. Lips pull back. Not in hunger, but in warning. A growl rolls through its chest. Deep. Resonant. The kind that vibrates in your bones. Guard mode. Above us, someone takes a step back from the railing. Then another. The crowd ripples like disturbed water. Uncertainty spreading, confidence cracking. I lift my head and look directly at Lucien Vale. His expression hasn't changed. Still carved from stone. Still unreadable. But his knuckles are white where they grip the barrier, and his jaw is tight enough that I can see the muscle jumping beneath his skin. He's rattled. Good. His name is Ares, I say clearly. My voice carries across the courtyard. Steadier than it should be, given that I'm kneeling in the dirt with blood on my skin and a starved dog standing guard over my pregnant body. And you should have checked your records before you fed him cruelty. Silence. Then Lucien moves. He pushes away from the railing, straightens. His pale eyes bore into mine with an intensity that makes my skin prickle. Who are you? He asks quietly. Not loud. He doesn't need to be loud. Everyone's already listening. I force myself to my feet. Ares shifts with me, staying close, body angled protectively. My hand finds his collar, thick leather, worn smooth by time and neglect. My name doesn't matter, I say evenly. What matters is that I trained every K9 in this compound before you inherited the throne. Murmurs explode across the walkways. Heads turn. Alphas exchange glances. A few older enforcers lean forward, squinting down at me like they're trying to match my face to a memory. I built their obedience from the ground up. I continue. I'm the reason this one didn't tear me apart when you decided starvation was discipline. Lucien's eyes narrow. Impossible, he says. The K9 program trainer was discharged 3 months ago. I finish. Legally, honorably, with full documentation that you clearly never bothered to read. His jaw tightens. Ares growls again. Low, constant, a warning that vibrates through the pen. And the child? Lucien asks. His gaze drops to my stomach, calculating, already running scenarios. I flatten my hand over the curve. Protective, possessive, final. He's mine, I say quietly. And now you know exactly what you almost destroyed. Somewhere in the compound, an alarm starts wailing, sharp, echoing. The sound of protocol kicking in when something goes wrong in a way no one planned for. Boots pound stone as guards rush toward the courtyard. Voices rise in confusion. The crowd fractures, some pressing closer to see, others backing away, sensing the shift in power even if they don't understand it yet. Lucien doesn't look away from me. The gate stays closed. I meet his eyes, hold them, let him see that I'm not afraid anymore. Open it, I say, not a request. Command. Ares' muscles tense beneath my hand. Ready, waiting for the signal. Seconds stretch. The alarm wails. Voices grow louder. Then Lucien lifts one hand. A guard moves immediately, unlocking the gate, pulling it wide, metal scraping stone in a sound that makes my teeth ache. The crowd parts. I step forward first. Ares paces beside me, head high, eyes tracking every alpha along the wall. His limp is pronounced now that adrenaline is fading, but he doesn't slow, doesn't falter. We walk through the gate together, into the courtyard proper. Past guards who step aside instinctively. Past junior alphas who suddenly can't meet my eyes. I stop directly beneath Lucien's position. Look up. You wanted to teach me my place? I say quietly. The alarm cuts off mid-wail. Silence rushes in to fill the void. Here's the lesson. I continue. Power without restraint isn't strength. It's just fear wearing a crown. Lucien says nothing. For the first time since he took the throne, he doesn't have an answer. I turn away. Ares follows. Guards part like water. At the edge of the courtyard, I pause. Look back once. This isn't over, I say. It's just begun. And I walk away. Pregnant, bleeding, flanked by the dog they tried to use as an execution tool, while the Alpha King stands frozen on his elevated walkway, finally understanding the truth too late. He didn't throw a weak Omega into a pen. He awakened the one person who could dismantle his empire from the inside. The medical wing smells like antiseptic and fear. I push through the double doors with Ares pressed against my leg, his weight warm and solid and real in a way that makes my hands shake. The receptionist, a beta with tired eyes and ink-stained fingers, looks up from her desk. Her expression goes through 3 stages in 2 seconds. Confusion, recognition, shock. She stops. Swallows. Tries again. You're not supposed to be here. I'm bleeding, I say flatly. And pregnant. Where else should I be? She opens her mouth, closes it, reaches for the phone with trembling fingers. Don't, I tell her. She freezes. Ares growls, low, rumbling, the kind that makes people's hindbrain scream predator. I just need someone to confirm the baby's okay. I continue, voice steady, reasonable, like I didn't just walk out of a death sentence with a starved K9 at my side. Then I'll leave. No drama, no reports. I have to call security. Security watched me get thrown into a K9 pen 30 minutes ago. I interrupt. They can wait. Her hand hovers over the phone, indecision written across every line of her face. Then a door opens behind her. Let him through. The voice is female, sharp, familiar. Dr. Kira Moss steps into the reception area. White coat crisp despite the late hour. Silver hair pulled back in a bun that's probably older than I am. She's in her 60s, been the pack physician since before Lucien's father took the throne. She looks at me like she's seeing a ghost. Examination room 3, she says quietly. Now. I don't argue. The room is small. Sterile white walls, examination table with paper that crinkles when I sit, fluorescent lights that make everything look washed out and wrong. Ares positions himself between me and the door. Won't sit, won't relax. Smart dog. Dr. Moss closes the door with a soft click. For a long moment, she just stares at me, taking inventory, cataloging injuries the way she's been trained to do for 40 years. You're bleeding, she says finally. I fell 20 feet onto packed dirt. You're pregnant. For months. You should be dead. Yeah. I press my hand flat over my stomach. I should be. She moves closer, efficient, professional, but her hands shake slightly as she reaches for my wrist. Checking pulse, probably, or looking for fractures. Why did you come back? She asks quietly. I didn't come back. I was dragged. Her jaw tightens. That's not. I filed legal discharge paperwork 3 months ago. I interrupt. Signed, sealed, submitted through official channels. I left with clearance from the previous administration. Lucien doesn't recognize his father's clearances. Lucien is going to learn to. She pulls back, studies my face like she's trying to reconcile the person sitting in front of her with the memory she's holding. You trained the K9 program, she says slowly, before you left. Before the transition. Yes, you built the entire protocol. Obedience, attack patterns, loyalty conditioning. Yes, and Lucien threw you into a pen with one of your own dogs. I meet her eyes. He didn't know. How could he not? She stops. Understanding crashes across her expression. He never checked the records. He inherited a throne, not a filing system. Her laugh is bitter, sharp. That dog should have killed you. Ares would never. Ares. She repeats the name like it hurts. I remember him 3 years ago, before the starvation protocols. He was different. He still is. Underneath. She turns away, opens a cabinet, pulls out equipment, blood pressure cuff, stethoscope, ultrasound portable unit that's older than most of the junior alphas in this compound. Lie back, she says quietly. I do. The paper crinkles beneath me. Ares shifts position, angling so he can see both the door and Dr. Moss simultaneously. His eyes never stop moving. The gel is cold against my stomach. I flinch despite myself. Sorry, she murmurs. The ultrasound wand presses against my skin. Searching, probing. I hold my breath without meaning to, counting seconds, listening to my own heartbeat, waiting for her to say something. The screen flickers, then resolves. A shape, small, curled, moving, heartbeat strong. Dr. Moss says softly, 148 beats per minute. No signs of placental abruption. No bleeding. Air rushes out of my lungs. I didn't realize I was holding it that hard. He's okay, I whisper. He. She glances at me. You know the sex? I know. My hand covers the wand. I've known since the beginning. She doesn't ask how, doesn't push, just nods and continues the examination, checking measurements, angles, positioning. Professional to the core, but her hands still shake. You need to leave, she says finally. Tonight, before Lucien decides to finish what he started. I'm not running. Then you're going to die. She meets my eyes. He can't afford to let you stay, not after what happened in that courtyard. He should have thought of that before he made a spectacle. He's the Alpha King. He's a child playing with tools he doesn't understand. I interrupt. And now everyone knows it. Silence settles between us. Dr. Moss wipes the gel from my stomach with hands that have steadied, sets the equipment aside, faces me fully. What are you going to do? She asks quietly. I sit up. Ares moves with me, staying close. I'm going to make him remember why the K9 program existed in the first place, I say. And then I'm going to take back everything he's broken. Her expression shifts. Something that might be hope, or fear, or both. You can't do this alone. I'm not alone. I rest my hand on Ares' head. I have him, and I know exactly where the loyalty in this compound lives. Understanding flickers across her face. The handlers, she breathes. Every single one. Still here. Still working under protocols I wrote. Still remembering what this program used to be. Lucien will see it coming. Let him. I slide off the examination table. My legs hold. Barely. He threw me into a pit expecting me to die. Instead, he showed everyone that he doesn't know his own resources. I move toward the door. Ares matches my pace perfectly. No command needed. Just instinct and trust rebuilt in the span of 30 minutes. There's more, Dr. Moss says behind me. I stop. Don't turn. The pregnancy, she continues quietly. Pack law protects pregnant omegas. He can't legally harm you without council approval. I know, but he can isolate you, restrict access, make you disappear without technically violating protocol. Then I won't give him time. I pull the door open. The hallway is empty. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead. Somewhere deeper in the compound, voices echo. Guards probably still trying to process what happened in the courtyard. One more thing, Dr. Moss calls. This time I do turn. She's standing in the doorway of the examination room, backlit by sterile white light, looking older than she should and sadder than I've ever seen her. Your file, she says. The one from before. The training records, discharge papers, everything. What about it? It's gone. Her voice drops. Someone scrubbed the system 3 weeks after you left. Cold slides down my spine. Who? I don't know. But whoever did it wanted to make sure no one could prove you existed. My hand tightens on the doorframe. Ares presses closer, sensing the shift in my posture. Then I'll just have to remind them, I say quietly, and I walk out into the corridor. Pregnant, bleeding, protected by the dog that was supposed to kill me, while the compound holds its breath and waits to see what happens next. Behind me, Dr. Moss whispers something too soft to hear. It sounds like a prayer or a warning. The barracks are quiet when I push through the door. Not empty, never empty, just waiting. 6 handlers sit around a table scarred by years of knife marks and coffee rings. They look up as I enter, expressions cycling through shock, disbelief, recognition. Marcus stands first. He's 40, built like he used to be a fighter before he found dogs. Scar running through his left eyebrow where a trainee K9 caught him wrong during early conditioning. No, he says hoarsely. You're not. I'm here. I interrupt. Ares moves past me, crosses the room, sits directly in front of Marcus with perfect posture. The kind that comes from years of training, not fear. Marcus drops to his knees. His hands shake as they reach out, hovering, like he's afraid Ares might vanish if he touches him. They said he was lost, Marcus whispers. Aggressive, beyond recovery. He was starved. I say flatly, there's a difference. We tried. His voice breaks. We tried to maintain the protocols, but after you left, Lucien restructured everything. Punishment over partnership. Fear over trust. I know. The other handlers are standing now, moving closer, circling with the careful hesitation of people who've been burned before and don't trust relief. Sarah, mid-30s, track record with difficult rescues, reaches out to touch Ares' shoulder. He doesn't flinch, just leans into her palm like he's been starving for contact. Maybe he has been. How? She asks, voice rough. How did you survive the pen? I remembered what I taught him. I lower myself into a chair. My body screams protest. Ribs, spine, everything that hit dirt too hard. And he remembered me. Lucien's going to kill you, Marcus says quietly, still kneeling, still running his hands over Ares like he's checking for injuries. You know that, right? Let him try. I'm serious. So am I. I lean forward, meet each handler's eyes in turn. What happened in that courtyard wasn't an accident. It was a message. And now the entire compound knows exactly what it said. That you're dangerous, Sarah murmurs. That their Alpha King doesn't know his own resources, I correct. That he inherited a kingdom and never bothered to learn what he was ruling. Silence settles over the barracks. One of the younger handlers, Chen, maybe 25, still nervous around senior alphas, clears his throat. The K9s, he says hesitantly. They've been different since you left, not just Ares. All of them. Define different, aggressive, unpredictable. 3 handlers have been injured in the last 2 months. The dogs don't respond to commands the way they used to. My jaw tightens, because Lucien changed the conditioning protocols. He said your methods were too soft, Marcus adds. That dogs needed to fear their handlers to be effective. Dogs need to trust their handlers to be effective. I snap. Fear makes them reactive. Trust makes them reliable. We told him that, and he didn't listen. I push to my feet, ignore the way my vision swims, because he doesn't understand that power isn't something you take. It's something you earn. Ares stands with me, positions himself at my left side. Not behind, not in front. Beside, equal partnership. What do you need from us? Sarah asks quietly. I meet her eyes. Access. To what? The K9 records, training logs, everything Lucien's administration has done since I left. I pause, and I need to see the other dogs. Marcus inhales sharply. That's restricted. I wrote the restrictions. I interrupt, and I'm invoking handler override. That protocol was discontinued. That protocol was buried. There's a difference. I pull the chair out, sit, gesture for them to do the same. Lucien can't erase 3 decades of institutional knowledge just because he doesn't like it. The overrides still exist in the system. They're just hidden. You can prove this? Chen asks. I can prove everything. My hand flattens over my stomach. But I need time, and I need you to keep Lucien's attention divided while I work. How? I smile. Feels sharp. By doing exactly what you've been doing. Following the old protocols. The ones I taught you. The ones that actually work. Understanding spreads across their faces. You want us to undermine him, Sarah says slowly. I want you to do your jobs correctly, I correct. If that happens to make Lucien look incompetent, that's just a bonus. Marcus laughs. Short, bitter, surprised. You're going to get us all killed. No, I meet his eyes. I'm going to get us all free. Footsteps echo in the corridor outside. Heavy, multiple. The rhythm of guards moving with purpose. Everyone freezes. Ares' ears flatten. A growl builds in his chest. Low warning, not aggressive yet, but ready to escalate. The door bursts open. For guards fill the frame. Full tactical gear. Batons drawn. They scan the room quickly, cataloging threats, calculating risks. Their leader steps forward. Commander Reeves, 50 years old. Served under 3 different Alpha Kings. Face carved from stone and disappointment. You, he says, pointing at me. Come with us. I don't move. On whose authority? Alpha King Lucien Vale. His expression doesn't change. You're being detained pending investigation. Investigation of what? Unauthorized access to restricted areas. Theft of pack resources. His eyes drop to Ares. And possession of a lethal weapon. Ares isn't a weapon. The K9 is pack property, Reeves interrupts. And you no longer have clearance to handle him. My hands curl into fists. I have documentation. Your documentation was invalidated when you were discharged. He steps closer. Voluntarily. 3 months ago. That discharge was legal. That discharge was convenient. He corrects. For you. For us. For everyone who wanted to avoid uncomfortable questions about pack loyalty and resource allocation. The other handlers shift. Uneasy. Marcus half rises from his chair, but Sarah grabs his arm. Holds him still. Smart. So this is how it happens. I say quietly. Lucien makes a mistake, and you clean it up. Alpha King Vale doesn't make mistakes, Reeves says. He makes decisions. And right now, his decision is that you're a security risk. Because I survived? Because you humiliated him. His voice drops. In front of witnesses. In front of subordinates. That can't stand. Then he shouldn't have thrown me into a pit. That was justice. That was murder. I stand slowly. Ares matches me. And now you're here to finish it quietly. Reeves' jaw tightens. I'm here to maintain order. By arresting a pregnant Omega who's done nothing wrong? By containing a situation before it escalates. It's already escalated. I gesture to the handlers. Everyone in this room saw what happened. Everyone in the compound knows. You can't bury this. Watch me. He signals to the guards. They move forward. Ares lunges, not attacking, just blocking, positioning himself between the guards and me with perfect precision. His growl intensifies. Warning. Final. The guards stop. Hands drop to weapons. Batons lift. One reaches for something on his belt, tranquilizer probably. Don't, I say sharply. My voice cuts through the tension like a blade. The guard freezes. I step around Ares. Put myself between him and the guards. Hands visible. Non-threatening. I'll come with you, I say quietly. Peacefully. No resistance. And the dog, Reeves asks, stays with the handlers. I look back at Marcus. Feed him. Water. Medical check. Full protocol. You can't give orders here. I just did. I turn back to Reeves. And if anything happens to him while I'm detained, every handler in this compound will know it was deliberate. They'll know Lucien targeted a trained K9 for political reasons. That's a threat. That's a fact. I hold his gaze. You want to maintain order? Start by not destroying the one functional program this pack still has. Silence stretches. Reeves' expression doesn't change, but something shifts behind his eyes. Calculation, risk assessment, the eternal question of soldiers everywhere. Is this order worth following? Finally, he nods. The dog stays, he says. You come. Now. I move toward the door. Behind me, Ares whines, high, desperate. The sound of an animal who's just found his person and doesn't want to let go again. My chest tightens. I don't look back. Can't afford to. If I see his face, I'll break. Take care of him, I tell Marcus. We will, he promises. Voice rough. I swear. The guards close around me. We walk out into the corridor, 4 armed alphas, 1 pregnant Omega, and the knowledge that everything just shifted again. Behind us, the barracks door closes with a soft click, and in the silence that follows, I hear Ares howl. Once, long and mournful, the sound of a dog who's learned that the people you love don't always come back. If you've made it this far, you already know the story isn't over. It's just beginning, and what happens next will determine whether justice wins or cruelty does. Keep reading, keep sharing, because stories like this, they only survive when we refuse to look away. The holding cell smells like concrete and old fear. 3 walls, stone, cold, no windows, a single fluorescent light that flickers every 30 seconds like it's counting down to something. The 4th wall is bars, thick steel, rust-free, designed to hold alphas who've lost control. I'm not an alpha, but I'm here anyway. The guards locked me in 20 minutes ago. No charges read, no rights explained, just the heavy clang of metal and retreating footsteps echoing down the corridor. I sit on the bench bolted to the wall and press my hand over my stomach. The baby kicks, twice, strong enough that I feel it through muscle and skin and the thin fabric of my torn shirt. I think. I'm scared too, but fear won't help us now. I close my eyes, count my breathing, run through the mental catalog I've been building since the moment Lucien threw me into that pen. The handlers, 6 confirmed allies. More possible if Marcus reaches out to the older generation. The K9s, 15 in active rotation, 8 in recovery, 3 retired, all trained under my protocols before Lucien corrupted the program. The records, buried, scrubbed, but digital systems never truly delete, they just hide. And I know where the backups live. Pack law, pregnant Omegas are protected. Detention requires council approval. Trial within 72 hours. Lucien can hold me, but he can't hide me, unless he plans to. Footsteps echo in the corridor. I open my eyes. 2 sets, different rhythms. One heavy, guard weight, armor bulk. The other lighter, measured. The walk of someone who doesn't need volume to command attention. Lucien appears at the bars. He's changed clothes. Gone is the formal uniform from the courtyard. Now he wears simple dark fabric shirt, trousers, boots. Almost civilian, except nothing about him reads civilian. His pale eyes study me like I'm a puzzle he's trying to solve. You're comfortable? He asks. Polite, conversational, the tone of someone discussing weather. No, I say flatly. His mouth twitches, not quite a smile. Good. The guard behind him shifts uncomfortably. Young, maybe 23, still nervous around his Alpha King. Lucien waves him off without looking. Leave us. Alpha King, protocol states. Leave us. The guard retreats immediately. His footsteps fade until there's nothing left but silence and the flickering fluorescent light. Lucien steps closer to the bars. I've been reviewing records, he says quietly, trying to understand what happened in that courtyard. You threw me into a pit, I say. That's what happened. You survived. That's what I don't understand. Maybe you should have checked who I was first. I knew who you were. His voice hardens. An Omega, pregnant, discharged under my father's administration. Irrelevant. Clearly not. Silence settles between us. Lucien's jaw tightens. Your name is Kael Theron. You served as K9 program director for 7 years under my father's rule. You resigned 3 months before I took the throne. Officially, personal reasons. Unofficially, he trails off. Waiting. I don't fill the silence. Unofficially, he continues slowly. You disappeared. No forwarding address. No contact information. Like you didn't want to be found. I didn't. Why? Because I knew what was coming. I leaned forward. Your father was dying. The succession was contested. And I'd spent 7 years building a program that could be weaponized by the wrong person. His expression shifts. Something that might be surprise or respect. You saw me as the wrong person. You starved Ares. I say quietly. You turned conditioning into cruelty. You made the K9s afraid instead of loyal. So yes, I saw exactly what you'd become. And yet you came back. I was dragged back, I correct, by guards who didn't care that my discharge was legal, who didn't care that I was pregnant, who followed your orders without question because that's what you've trained them to do. I trained them to maintain order. You trained them to obey blindly. I interrupt. There's a difference. His hands curl around the bars, knuckles white. For 3 seconds, I think he might rip the door off its hinges. Then he breathes, releases, steps back. The dog, he says, voice controlled again. Ares. He recognized you instantly. Yes, that shouldn't be possible. He's been isolated for months. Aggressive, unmanageable. He's been traumatized. I correct. And dogs don't forget the people who earned their trust. You earned his trust. I earned all of them. I stand slowly, move toward the bars. Every K9 in this compound learned obedience from me, not through fear, through partnership. And that's why Ares didn't kill me when you expected him to. Lucien's eyes narrow. You're saying I failed. I'm saying you inherited a tool you didn't understand and broke it through ignorance. Careful, Omega. My name is Kael. I snap. And I'm not afraid of you. The words hang in the air between us. Dangerous, provocative, the kind of thing that gets Omegas punished in compounds where alphas hold absolute power. But I don't take them back. Lucien stares at me, really stares, not just looking, but analyzing, trying to reconcile the person standing in front of him with whatever image he'd constructed in his head. The pregnancy, he says finally, whose is it? Mine. The father isn't your concern. Everything in this compound is my concern. Then you should have thought about that before you tried to execute me publicly. I interrupt. Because now everyone knows you don't know your own history. You don't know your own resources. And you definitely don't know pack law. His expression goes cold. Explain. Pregnant Omegas are protected under continental pack agreements. I say evenly. Detention requires council approval. Trial within 72 hours. You can't legally hold me here without cause. I have cause. You have embarrassment. I correct. And a compound full of witnesses who watched you fail spectacularly. Silence. The fluorescent light flickers. 30 seconds. Right on schedule. Lucien turns away from the bars. Paces 3 steps. Stops. His shoulders are rigid beneath the dark fabric, tension radiating from every line of his body. What do you want? He asks quietly. Not angry, not defensive, cornered. I want my job back, I say. He turns. What? K9 program director. Full authority. Complete operational control. I keep my voice steady. Reasonable. Restore the protocols I wrote. End the starvation conditioning. Let me rebuild what you broke. You think I'll just give you that? Disbelief colors his tone. After what you did? After what you did. I correct. I survived. That's not a crime. But what you did in that courtyard, throwing a pregnant Omega into a death trap, that violates every law that keeps packs civilized. No one will believe. Everyone already believes it. I interrupt. They watched it happen. They heard you order it. And now they're wondering what kind of alpha king rules through public execution. His jaw works, fury building behind those pale eyes. But he doesn't move, because he knows I'm right. The council meets in 3 days, he says finally, voice tight. They'll review your case, decide if charges are warranted. There are no charges. There will be if I say there are. Then say it, across my arms. Explain to the council why you detained a legally discharged Omega who was dragged back to your compound against his will. Explain why you threw him into a K9 pen while pregnant. Explain why the dog you claimed was a lethal weapon recognized him as its handler. You're threatening me. I'm reminding you of facts, I say quietly, and facts don't care about your authority. The silence that follows is absolute. Lucien stares at me through the bars with an expression I can't quite read. Anger, yes, but something else underneath. Calculation. The wheels turning as he runs scenarios, weighs options, tries to find a path forward that doesn't end with him losing face. Finally, he speaks. The council will decide, he says. Until then, you stay here. That's illegal. That's practical, he corrects. You're a security risk, an unknown variable. And I don't allow unknown variables to roam freely in my compound. He turns to leave. Lucien, I call. He stops, doesn't look back. The K9s are dying, I say quietly. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally. Your methods are breaking them. And when they break completely, they won't be weapons. They'll just be traumatized animals who can't trust anyone. His shoulders tighten. Is that what you want? I continue. A compound protected by creatures too damaged to function? They function fine. Ares tried to kill me, I interrupt, and he only stopped because he remembered me. What happens when the next dog doesn't have that memory? What happens when a handler gets torn apart because the K9 doesn't know the difference between threat and command? Silence. 3 handlers have been injured in 2 months. I add, how many more before you admit the program is failing? Lucien's hands curl into fists. Then he walks away. His footsteps echo down the corridor. Steady, measured, the rhythm of someone who refuses to show weakness even when cornered. The door at the end of the hall slams shut, and I'm alone again. I lower myself back onto the bench, press both hands over my stomach. The baby's still now, quiet, conserving energy the way he has to when stress runs too high. Soon, I think. This will be over soon. But I don't know if I believe it. The message arrives at dawn. I'm not asleep when it comes. Haven't slept since they locked me in here yesterday afternoon. The bench is too hard, the light too bright, and every time I close my eyes, I see Ares' face. Hear his howl echoing through the barracks. Take care of him, I'd said, like it was simple, like Marcus could just fix months of starvation and trauma with food and water and kind words. The fluorescent light flickers. 30 seconds. I've counted 2,847 cycles since I've been here. Footsteps approach, different from Lucien's. Lighter, quicker, the rhythm of someone who moves like they're perpetually late. A figure appears at the bars. Female, mid-20s, dark hair pulled back in a braid that's coming loose at the edges. She wears maintenance coveralls, but her hands are too clean. No grease under the nails, no calluses from tools, not maintenance. You're Kael Theron, she says, not a question. I sit up slowly. And you are. Irrelevant. She pulls something from her pocket. Small, folded, sealed with wax that looks official but probably isn't. This is for you. She slides it through the bars. It lands on the concrete floor with a soft tap. Who sent it? Asked. Someone who wants you to understand your position. She glances down the corridor. Nervous. Read it. Burn it if you can. But don't ignore it. Wait. She's already walking away. Her footsteps fade quickly. Too quickly. Like she's running. I stare at the folded paper for 30 seconds. Maybe 40. Then I pick it up. The wax seal is unmarked. Generic. The kind you can buy in any market stall. I break it carefully, unfold the paper. The handwriting is precise, controlled. Every letter formed with the kind of discipline that comes from years of practice. Kael Theron, you have made your position clear. Now let me make mine equally transparent. The council meets in 3 days. They will review your case and determine whether charges are warranted. I will ensure the outcome favors order, stability, and the continued authority of this administration. Your pregnancy is noted. PAC law protects you to a point, but protection requires cooperation. And cooperation requires understanding that your previous role no longer exists. The K-9 program has been restructured under new management. Your protocols have been replaced with methods better suited to current security requirements. Your return would destabilize operational efficiency. However, I am not unreasonable. If you agree to the following terms, I will ensure your safe release and continued protection. 1. You will leave this compound immediately and not return. 2. You will sign documentation releasing all claims to K-9 program oversight. 3. You will not discuss the events of yesterday with anyone outside this facility. 4. You will accept financial compensation for your silence. These terms are non-negotiable. Your answer is due before the council convenes. Refuse, and I will ensure the council understands you as a threat to PAC stability. Your pregnancy will not protect you from exile. Your child will be born outside PAC territory, without resources, without support. Choose wisely. LV. I read it twice, then a third time. My hands don't shake. They should, but they don't. I fold the paper carefully, slide it into my pocket. Then I stand and walk to the bars. Guard, I call. Silence. Guard, I repeat. Louder. Footsteps. The same young one from yesterday appears at the end of the corridor. Hesitant, like he's not sure if he's supposed to respond. I need to speak with Commander Reeves. I say. Alpha King's orders state no visitors. I'm not asking for a visitor. I interrupt. I'm invoking PAC law. Pregnant Omegas have the right to medical consultation. I need to verify my child's health. He hesitates. I'll need to confirm. Confirm with Dr. Moss. I say. She examined me yesterday. She'll verify the pregnancy. The guard shifts uncomfortably. That's not protocol. Protocol requires you ensure the health and safety of all detainees. I say evenly. Pregnant detainees have elevated medical needs. Denying those needs violates Continental PAC agreements. He stares at me. I stare back. Finally, he nods. I'll send word. He leaves. I return to the bench, press my hand over my stomach. The baby kicks once, hard enough to make me wince. I know, I think again. But we're going to make them regret this. 20 minutes later, Dr. Moss arrives. She looks older than yesterday, tired. Lines around her eyes that weren't there before, or maybe they were and I just didn't notice. The guard unlocks the cell door, lets her in, locks it behind her. We're alone. For 10 seconds, neither of us speaks. Then Dr. Moss moves quickly, sets her medical bag on the bench, opens it, pulls out equipment that looks official. Stethoscope, blood pressure cuff, portable ultrasound. But her hands shake. You shouldn't have called me, she whispers. I need you to hear something. I say quietly, if Lucien finds out. He already knows. I pull the letter from my pocket, hand it to her. Read it. She does. Her expression shifts through stages. Confusion, understanding, anger. He's threatening you, she breathes. He's threatening my child. I correct. There's a difference. What are you going to do? Refuse. He'll exile you. Let him try. I take the letter back. PAC law requires council approval for exile, and the council can't approve what they don't fully understand. Her eyes widen. You're going to tell them everything. I'm going to show them everything. I correct. The starvation protocols, the handler injuries, the corruption of a program that used to function perfectly. I pause. And I need your help. Kael. Medical records. I interrupt. Every K9 injury in the last 6 months. Every handler who's been bitten, clawed, traumatized. Every animal that's been put down because they became too aggressive to manage. That information is restricted. You're the pack physician, I say. You have access. Accessing it without authorization is the right thing to do, I finish. You know it is. You've watched this program collapse. You've treated the injuries. You've seen what Lucien's methods create. She's silent for a long moment. Then she closes her medical bag with shaking hands. I'll need time, she says quietly, to compile everything, to make copies. How long? 2 days. Maybe less if I'm careful. The council meets in 3. I know. She meets my eyes. But if I'm caught, you won't be, I say, because no one's watching the physician. They're watching me. She nods slowly. And Ares? What about him? Marcus asked me to check on him this morning. Her voice softens. He's not eating. Won't let anyone touch him except Marcus. He's waiting. My chest tightens. Waiting for what? For you. She picks up her bag, moves toward the bars. He knows you're gone, and he doesn't understand why you haven't come back. The guard unlocks the door, lets her out. She pauses in the corridor, looks back. Be careful, she whispers. Lucien doesn't make threats lightly. Neither do I say. She leaves. The lock clicks shut again. And I'm alone with Lucien's letter and the knowledge that the next 48 hours will determine everything. I pull the paper out again, read the final line, choose wisely. I close my eyes and choose defiance. The evidence arrives in pieces. First, a memory drive, small enough to hide in a medical supply kit, delivered by Dr. Moss during her second examination visit. She doesn't speak, just presses it into my palm while checking my pulse, her fingers lingering long enough to make sure I understand. Everything you asked for. I close my hand around it, nod once. She leaves without another word. Second, testimony. Marcus sends it through the young guard, the one who's been growing increasingly uncomfortable with the whole situation. The guard doesn't know what's in the sealed envelope he passes through the bars. Doesn't ask. Smart. Inside, written statements from 4 handlers. Detailed accounts of injuries, protocol violations, K9 behavioral degradation. Each one signed, dated, witnessed, admissible. Third, the coup I didn't plan but should have expected, comes at night, 2 days after Lucien's letter, 1 day before the council meets. I'm awake when the alarms start wailing. Not the regular compound alarms, the ones that signal shift changes or meal times or weather warnings. These are different, urgent, the kind that means something's gone catastrophically wrong. Boots pound through corridors. Voices shout orders. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barks. High, frantic, the sound of an animal in distress. I'm on my feet immediately, press against the bars. Strain to hear. Containment breach. K9 section. Get everyone back. My blood goes cold. The K9 section. The young guard appears at the end of the corridor, running. His face is pale, eyes too wide. What happened? I demand. He doesn't answer, just keeps running. What happened? I shout. He stops, turns, looks at me like I'm something he's afraid to acknowledge. The K9s, he says hoarsely. They're attacking. Then he's gone. The alarms continue, screaming through stone walls, through my skull, through the place in my chest that knows this is my fault. I never should have left Ares. Never should have trusted that Lucien would maintain even basic safety protocols while I was detained. Never should have believed that handlers could manage animals traumatized beyond recognition. Time stretches. 5 minutes. 10. 20. The alarms cut off abruptly. Silence rushes in thick, suffocating wrong. Then footsteps. Multiple sets. Moving fast. Commander Reeves appears at the bars with 4 guards behind him. His uniform is torn. Blood streaks his left arm, fresh, still wet. You, he snaps. Come with me. What happened? Now. The guard unlocks the cell. Hands grab my arms. Not gentle, not rough, just efficient. They pull me out into the corridor and we're moving, half walking, half running through passages I helped design years ago. We burst through a door into the K9 section. Chaos. 3 handlers on the ground. 2 conscious, 1 not. Blood pools beneath the unconscious one. Too much blood, spreading too fast across concrete. Medical personnel swarm. Dr. Moss kneels beside the injured handler, hands moving with practiced efficiency, voice calm despite the carnage. And in the center of the training yard, surrounded by guards with tranquilizer rifles raised, 5K9S, not attacking, not anymore, just standing, circling, guarding something in the middle of their formation. I push past Reeves. Don't, he starts, but I'm already moving. The K9S heads snap toward me, ears forward, bodies tense. Recognition ripples through them like electricity. The circle breaks, they part, and there in the center is Ares. He's standing over a 6th dog. Smaller, younger, collapsed on its side with flanks heaving. Blood mats the fur around its neck. Not bite wounds, collar wounds. Someone tried to restrain it. Violently, Ares' eyes lock on mine. He doesn't move, doesn't approach, just stares with an intensity that makes my throat tight. Kael, Reeves warns behind me. Lower the rifles. I say quietly. They're aggressive. They're protecting. I correct. There's a difference. I take another step forward. The K9S watch me, hackles raised. But they don't growl, don't snap. They're waiting. I crouch slowly, make myself smaller, keep my hands visible. Ruhig, I say softly, calm. Ares' ears twitch. Ich bin here. I continue. I'm here. He takes 1 step toward me, then another. The other K9S shift, uncertain, looking to Ares for guidance because he's the eldest, the most experienced, the one who remembers what partnership used to feel like. Ares reaches me, presses his forehead against my chest, and the tension breaks. The other K9S relax, one by one, lowering their guards. Some sit, others lie down, all of them watching me with expressions that look dangerously close to hope. I run my hands over Ares' head, down his neck, checking for injuries I can't see. What happened? I ask without looking up. Silence behind me, then Reeves' voice, tight with something that might be shame. New protocol, he says. Lucien ordered increased aggression training, shock collars, food deprivation, extended isolation periods. My hands still on Ares' fur. When? 2 days ago, right after you were detained. And you followed those orders. I follow all orders, even the ones that break animals. I say flatly, even those. I stand slowly. Ares moves with me. The other K9S rise too, following his lead, trusting his judgment. I turn to face Reeves. His expression is carved from stone, but his eyes tell a different story. Exhaustion, regret. The look of a soldier who's followed orders his entire life and just realized some orders aren't worth following. How many handlers were injured? Ask. 3 critically, 7 minor wounds, 1 fatality. The world tilts. Who? Chen. His voice drops. The youngest handler. He was trying to remove a shock collar when the dog panicked. My vision blurs. Chen, 25 years old. Nervous around senior alphas. Wanted to help the K9S but didn't know how to stand up to authority. Dead. Because Lucien decided cruelty was efficiency. Where's Lucien? My voice sounds distant, cold. Alpha King is in emergency council session, Reeves says. Addressing the situation. Addressing. I taste the word. Find it bitter. He's going to blame the handlers, isn't he? Say they didn't follow protocol. Claim the K9S were defective. Reeves says nothing, which is answer enough. I look at the injured handler, still unconscious. Dr. Moss working frantically to stabilize him. At the blood on the concrete. At the K9S standing around me like soldiers waiting for orders. Take me to the council, I say quietly. You're detained. I'm a witness, I interrupt, to systematic abuse, to protocol violations that resulted in handler deaths, to an alpha king who weaponized a program he didn't understand. That's exactly what happened, I snap, and now the council needs to hear it. From me, from the handlers, from Dr. Moss. I pause. From every person who watched this program collapse and said nothing. Reeves stares at me. Behind him, the guards shift uncomfortably. Finally, he nods. Get cleaned up, he says. Council convenes in 1 hour. I'll go as I am, I say. Blood on my hands, dirt on my clothes, pregnant. Flanked by traumatized K9S who just proved exactly what happens when you replace partnership with punishment. The visual will make a point. Reeves' mouth twitches. Not quite a smile, but close. Yes, he says quietly. I suppose it will. The council chamber is older than the compound. Stone walls built before modern pack politics. Before territorial disputes became bureaucratic instead of bloody. Before alpha kings ruled through authority rather than strength. High ceilings, no windows. A semicircle of chairs facing a central platform where the accused stands. I'm the accused, but I don't stand alone. Ares sits at my left, solid, steady. His eyes track every council member with the focus of an animal who understands this moment matters. Behind me, just outside the chamber doors, 5 more K9S. The guards tried to separate us, tried to insist only one animal could enter. The K9S disagreed. Loudly, Lucien sits at the center of the semicircle, elevated slightly. Symbolic power even here. His expression is neutral, but his hands grip the armrests too tightly. 12 council members flank him. Mixed ages, mixed genders, all alphas. All watching me with expressions ranging from curiosity to hostility. Elder Thorn speaks first. She's 70. Been on the council longer than I've been alive. Sharp eyes, sharper mind. Kael Theron, she says, voice carrying despite her age. You stand accused of multiple violations. Unauthorized access to pack resources, theft of military assets, inciting violence among compound personnel. I stand accused of surviving, I correct. Murmurs ripple through the council. Lucien's jaw tightens. The charges are fabricated, I interrupt, to cover up your failure. Alpha King Vale, Thorn corrects sharply. You will address him properly. I'll address him as what he is, I say evenly. Someone who inherited power without understanding its weight. The chamber goes silent. Lucien rises slowly. You forget yourself, Omega. No. I meet his eyes across the distance. I remember exactly who I am, and who you're trying to make me forget. Explain, Thorn demands. I take a breath. 7 years ago, I built the K9 program from nothing. Took traumatized animals and turned them into partners. Not weapons, partners. Built protocols based on trust, conditioning rooted in communication, training that made them reliable instead of reactive. This is documented? Thorn asks. It was. I pull the memory drive from my pocket. Until someone scrubbed the system 3 weeks after I was discharged. Lucien's expression doesn't change, but his hands tighten further on the armrests. I have copies, I continue. Training logs, protocol documentation, handler testimonies, medical records showing 0 serious injuries during my tenure. I pause. And records from the last 6 months showing 3 handler deaths, 15 major injuries, and 8 K9S put down for aggression. I toss the drive onto the central platform. It skitters across stone, stops at Thorn's feet. She picks it up, studies it, looks at Lucien. Is this true? She asks quietly. The program was restructured, Lucien says, for operational efficiency. For cruelty, I correct. Shock collars, starvation protocols, isolation periods that broke their mental conditioning. You took animals trained to protect and turned them into weapons that couldn't tell friend from threat. That's an oversimplification, Chun is dead, I say flatly. Killed yesterday by a canine he was trying to help. A dog that panicked because it had been shocked so many times it couldn't differentiate between threat and care. Silence crashes through the chamber. One council member, Alpha Steel, mid-40s, former military, leans forward. The handler death yesterday, he says slowly, that was related to this restructuring? Directly caused by it, I confirm. Chun was removing a shock collar when the dog panicked. The K9 didn't attack out of aggression. It attacked out of fear. Fear created by systematic abuse authorized by Alpha King Vale. Lucien stands abruptly. You have no proof. I have all the proof, I interrupt. Medical records, handler statements, surveillance footage if you haven't deleted it yet. I gesture to Ares. And I have him. Every eye in the chamber turns to the K9. Ares doesn't flinch, doesn't move, just sits with perfect posture, the kind that comes from years of training, not recent conditioning. This is Ares, I continue, 11 years old, trained by me from age 2. Perfect service record until 6 months ago when Alpha King Vale implemented new protocols. I pause. 3 days ago, Lucien threw me into Ares' pen. Starving, isolated, conditioned to be aggressive. And Thorn prompts. And Ares recognized me. I say quietly, remembered his training, chose partnership over violence. Because trust doesn't disappear just because someone tries to bury it under cruelty. The chamber is absolutely silent. I take another breath. You want to know what I'm guilty of? I'm guilty of leaving when I should have stayed. Of thinking my resignation would protect these animals from corruption. Of believing that institutional knowledge would survive leadership change. You're guilty of insubordination, Lucien says coldly. Of questioning authority. I'm questioning competence, I interrupt. There's a difference. His eyes flash. You dare. I dare because someone has to. I snap. You inherited a throne and decided that made you infallible. You restructured programs without understanding their foundations. You authorized cruelty without considering consequences. And when your methods failed spectacularly, you tried to bury the evidence by detaining the one person who could expose them. The pregnancy, another council member starts, is irrelevant, I say. Pack law protects pregnant omegas. I know, but this isn't about my pregnancy. This is about a program that saved lives being corrupted into something that takes them. I step forward. Ares moves with me. 3 days ago, you tried to kill me publicly. I say to Lucien, in front of witnesses. Using a dog I trained. You failed. Not because I'm special, but because the foundations I built were stronger than your attempts to destroy them. You're accusing me of attempted murder, Lucien says quietly, dangerously. I'm stating facts, I correct. What you call it is your choice. Thorn raises one hand. Silence falls immediately. Alpha King Vale, she says. Did you order Kael Theron thrown into the K9 pen? Pause. Yes, Lucien says. Did you expect him to survive? Longer pause. No, Lucien admits. Then by definition, Thorn says slowly, you attempted to execute a pack member without council approval, without trial, without cause beyond personal offense. He was a security risk. He was legally discharged, Thorn interrupts. Detained illegally, threatened with exile, and subjected to lethal force without due process. The other council members shift, uncomfortable, realizing where this is going. Thorn looks at me. What do you want, Kael Theron? My job back, I say immediately. Full operational control of the K9 program, authority to restore original protocols, and accountability. Accountability meaning? Alpha King Vale answers for Chen's death, I say quietly, and every other injury caused by his restructuring. Not with exile, not with punishment, but with acknowledgement, public, witnessed, that his methods failed. Lucien's hands curl into fists. And if I refuse? He asks. Then the council strips your authority over the K9 program, I say. And everyone in this compound knows you'd rather let handlers die than admit you were wrong. Silence. Thorn looks at Lucien. Your response, Alpha King? He stares at me. Rage. Humiliation. Pride warring with pragmatism. Finally, he speaks. Kael Theron is reinstated as K9 Program Director. Effective immediately. Full operational authority. His voice is ice. But he answers to council oversight. Not to me. Agreed, Thorn says. She looks at me. Accepted. I nod. Then this matter is. One more thing, I interrupt. Thorn raises an eyebrow. I turn to face Lucien fully. Kneel, I say quietly. The chamber erupts. Voices rise in shock. Outrage. Disbelief. Lucien goes absolutely still. What? He says slowly. Did you say? Kneel, I repeat. Acknowledge that your methods failed. That Chun died because of your pride. That you're capable of being wrong. You're asking me to submit. I'm asking you to be honest, I correct. Just once, in front of witnesses. Show this council that you're capable of growth instead of just control. I am the Alpha King. Then act like it. I snap. Kings don't hide behind authority when they fail. They own their mistakes. They do better. They earn the loyalty they demand. Silence falls again. Every council member watches Lucien. Waiting. He stares at me, jaw tight, hands shaking slightly with suppressed rage. Then, slowly, he drops to one knee. The chamber collectively holds its breath. Chen's death, Lucien says quietly, was my failure, my restructuring, my responsibility. He looks up, meets my eyes. I was wrong, he finishes. The words hang in the air. Simple, insufficient, but there. I nod once. Thank you, I say quietly, and I walk out of the chamber. Pregnant, vindicated, flanked by the K9 who proved that trust survives cruelty, while the Alpha King kneels on stone and learns what power actually costs. 3 weeks later, the K9 section smells different. Not antiseptic and fear anymore. Now it's leather and fresh straw and the warm scent of dogs who've been fed properly, exercised regularly, treated like the partners they were always meant to be. I stand in the training yard watching Marcus work with Ares. Basic commands. Heel, sit, stay. Nothing complicated. Just rebuilding the foundation that cruelty tried to erode. Ares performs perfectly. His limp is better, Dr. Moss treated the joint inflammation, prescribed rest and physical therapy. His weight is up. Scars are healing. But more than that, his eyes are different. Alert, engaged, present. Not the hollow stare of a starved animal. The focused attention of a working K9 who remembers his purpose. Marcus releases him with a gesture. Ares trots over to me immediately, sits at my left side without command. I rest my hand on his head. Good, I murmur. So good. My stomach has grown in 3 weeks. Obvious now, impossible to hide. The baby kicks constantly, strong, healthy, insistent. I'm here, each kick seems to say. I survive too. Footsteps approach from behind. I don't turn. Already know the rhythm. Lucien stops 5 feet away. Respectful distance. Not imposing. We haven't spoken since the council meeting. He's issued orders through intermediaries. Signed documents without comment. Stayed completely out of the K9 section. Until now. Report? He asks quietly. I pull the tablet from my belt. Hand it over without looking at him. Handler injuries. 0 in 3 weeks. K9 behavioral incidents. 0. Retirement recommendations. 3 dogs too traumatized for continued service. They'll need foster placement. Approved, he interrupts. Whatever they need. I finally turn. He looks different. Older, maybe, or just more real. The carved stone expression has cracks now. Places where humanity shows through. Chen's family, I say, have they been compensated, honored? His name is on the memorial wall. Lucien's voice is steady, and I spoke with them personally and said that their son died because I was arrogant, that I'm sorry, that it won't happen again. I study his face, looking for performance, finding only exhaustion. Thank you, I say quietly. He nods, pauses. The council wants quarterly reports on program status, canine welfare, handler training. I know, I've already started the documentation, and they want oversight, independent verification that protocols are being followed. Good, I say. They should. His expression shifts. Surprise, maybe. You're not concerned about interference? I'm concerned about accountability, I correct. Oversight isn't interference when it's structured properly. It's protection. For the handlers, for the K9S, for everyone. He's quiet for a moment. Then, I was wrong about you. I know. And about the program. I know that too. And about, he stops. Breathes. About what power means. I meet his eyes. Power without wisdom is just violence with paperwork. His mouth twitches. Not quite a smile, but close. Who taught you that? Your father, I say quietly. 3 years before he died. He told me the next Alpha King would need to learn it the hard way. Lucien goes still. He knew. He knew you'd inherit young, unprepared, that you'd make mistakes. I pause. He also knew you'd learn. Eventually, you could have told me. Would you have listened? Silence. Then, quietly, no. Then there was no point. I turned back to watch Marcus and the other handlers working with K9S across the yard. Some lessons only stick when they cost something. Chan wasn't a lesson, I interrupt sharply. He was a person, with family, with dreams. Don't romanticize his death into your growth journey. Lucien flinches. I wasn't. You were, I say flatly. And that's the part you still need to work on. The part that sees tragedy as teaching opportunity instead of tragedy. He says nothing. We stand in silence, watching handlers and K9S move through exercises I designed years ago. Watching trust rebuild slowly, carefully, one command at a time. The baby, Lucien says finally. When? 3 months, maybe less. And the father isn't relevant, I say firmly. He's not PAC, not involved. This child is mine alone. PAC law entitles you to support. I don't want support, I interrupt. I want to do my job, raise my son, rebuild what you broke. And after, he asks, when the program is stable, when the K9S are recovered, will you leave again? I consider the question. 3 weeks ago, I would have said yes immediately, would have planned my exit, counted down the days, prepared to disappear the moment my contract allowed. But now, I look at Ares, at Marcus, at the K9 section that's slowly becoming what it was always meant to be. I don't know, I admit. Ask me in a year. Lucien nods slowly. Fair. He turns to leave. Lucien, I call. He stops, looks back. You did the right thing, I say quietly. In the council chamber, kneeling, admitting failure. That took more strength than most alphas ever show. His expression shifts, something vulnerable beneath the authority. It didn't feel strong, he says. It felt like losing. That's because you're still learning the difference between losing face and gaining respect. I pause. Give it time. The pack will remember the honesty longer than the humiliation. He holds my gaze for 3 seconds, then nods once and walks away. I watch him go. The Alpha King who tried to kill me, learned better, and now has to live with the consequences of both. Ares leans against my leg. I scratch behind his ears absently. What do you think? I murmur. Should we stay? He huffs. Not quite agreement, not quite disagreement, just acknowledgement. We'll see. Marcus approaches with a younger K9, female, 2 years old, still skittish from months of poor conditioning. She's ready for reassessment, he says. If you have time. I do. We spend the next hour working through basic commands, building trust, showing the K9 that humans can be consistent instead of cruel. The slow work, tedious, repetitive, exactly what it needs to be. As the sun drops toward the horizon, painting the training yard in shades of amber and gold, I feel the baby kick again. Strong, insistent, alive. I press my hand over the curve. This is what I'm fighting for, I think. Not revenge, not vindication, just this safety, trust, the knowledge that systems can be rebuilt. That cruelty doesn't have to be permanent. Ares sits beside me, steady, loyal, proof that foundations matter more than setbacks. And in the distance, through the K9 section doors, I hear handlers laughing. Not nervous laughter, not the sound of people afraid to show joy, just laughter, simple, honest, free. For the first time in 6 months, the compound feels like it might become home again. Not yet, but maybe, eventually. I look down at Ares. Ready to go again tomorrow? Ask. He stands, shakes, looks at me with eyes that hold intelligence, memory, trust earned through patience instead of force. Then he presses his nose into my palm. Yes, the gesture says, always. And we walk back toward the barracks together. Trainer and K9, Omega and partner, survivor and proof that some bonds run deeper than cruelty can reach. Behind us, the sun sets on a compound that's learning, slowly, what it means to lead through strength that protects instead of destroys. It's not perfect, it's not finished, but it's beginning, and sometimes that's enough. 6 months later, a letter arrives, sealed with wax that bears a crest I haven't seen in 3 years. The Northern Council, the governing body that oversees all pacts in the continental territories. Inside, a single sentence: we've reviewed your case. We have questions about Alpha King Lucien Vale's administration, and we're coming to ask them in person. I read it twice, then look at Ares, who's watching my son sleep in the bassinet beside my desk. Looks like we're not done yet, I murmur. Ares' ears perk forward. And in the distance, boots echo through corridors as the compound prepares for visitors who'll ask questions no one's ready to answer. The real fight hasn't even started. If the story made you feel something, anger, hope, vindication, then it's done its job. Share it, talk about it. Because stories about standing up to cruelty, about rebuilding trust, about choosing partnership over power, those stories matter. And they only survive when we refuse to let them disappear.